Okay, this is going to be a rather generic video, but what I want to say has to be said. Everything we see around us has to be changed, has to be brought back under control. In our society, in our countries, we have a specific and large problem. And it's very difficult to talk about this problem because the people who are responsible for the problem have created a situation whereby it is very difficult to talk about them. It's a problem. It's not a new problem, but it's a problem which needs addressing once again. It's a problem which has been addressed before, and in order to correctly deal with the problem, you really do have to have a decent degree of intellect, because those who have produced the problem are applying their intellect to producing the problem. It's not a problem which is occurring accidentally. It is a specifically engineered problem and set of problems which are designed to produce as much confusion and chicanery and diversion as possible to cover the tracks of what these people are doing. So the bottom line is that these people are committing fraud in order to get what they want. Okay? And they are trying to cause in everyone else's mind distractive thoughts and thoughts that will undermine those people themselves, so that these people can pretend to be something that they aren't. Now, if you look at it, if you take yourself out of the emotional temporarily and look at it pragmatically and rationally, it's a very interesting problem to solve. And those who are interested in solving problems, when they observe this, they will be quite curious about it. So there are two ways of interpreting the problem. There is the emotional and the rational. On the emotional side, you will be angry. You will feel embarrassed. And on the rational side, you'll be curious about it. You'll be interested in it. And then you are tasked, if you're intellectually capable, of discerning and deducing the solution. And here's the curious thing. If you've ever read any of the Arthur Conan Doyle short stories about Sherlock Holmes, you'll understand that Sherlock Holmes, being of a highly analytical nature, enjoys sparring with his opponents, the criminals that he is, he has tasked himself with pursuing. And that I understand. You have to have, if you're going to deal with this problem, you have to have something of a respect for your opponent. Yet you must also pursue the solutions to the problems they've created. I am very frustrated and annoyed, and also, but I use it as motivation. I'm annoyed about what I see around myself in my country, among my people. Now, the phrase "my people" nowadays, that specific group of people I'm talking about would try to have you believe is some sort of destructive or divisive term, but it's not. It's very, very human. Everyone knows, if they ask themselves, which group of people they belong to. And this is why it's so important for people to actually think for themselves, because the particular group of people I'm talking about their entire focus is on an activity that no other group of people on the planet focus on. They are focused upon the undermining of others to get what they want. No one else does that. Every other group of people around the world, whatever nation, whatever creed, whatever background, they are focused upon the maximization of their own success. The particular group of people I'm talking about, who are the problem people, are focused upon undermining others, whereby they consider that having effectively undermined others, they are in a position which they perceive to be a position of success, but it's actually not. Imagine if you start off yourself and your opponent here and here. Okay, this is you and this is your opponent, right? Now, if you excel, you are successful. You have beaten your opponent. Congratulations. If you engineer your opponent's failure, you haven't succeeded. It's called essentially cheating. All right? But you might perceive that you're in a superior position. And that's the problem here. These people are not concerned with attaining a genuine superior position because they're afraid. They're afraid because the moment they put their heads up and people become aware of who they are, they will be very harshly treated. So they have resorted to making themselves comfortable with focusing all their efforts on undermining other people. Now, if you can consider that such a group of people exist and that this is their reasoning, then you can begin to understand that they do exist and that you have to do something about the problems they're causing. So they have their hands upon our media, and they use it to poison the minds of everyone else around them. And indeed, oddly enough, they expose themselves to the same sort of media. What it does to them, I don't even want to think about. But what it does to other people, including my people, I do want to think about, and not too deeply, because it's not a good idea to dwell on such things. But it's worth acknowledging what's happening and then seeking the remedy. So ultimately, if you are engaged in a competitive endeavor, let's say you're in a running race, the last thing you want to do is to have to focus your energy on someone who's trying to undermine your success. What you really want to do is focus upon your own success. We are all in a running race, so to speak. We are a competitive organism, a competitive species, and there is someone in this race who is, instead of focusing upon their own success, is focusing upon diminishing other people's success. Okay? They want to cut everyone else down so that they don't feel like such failures. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful, but that's what they're doing. We've all seen this. It's actually mentioned very, very clearly in media that we all watched as children. There's always the villain, the bad guy. And the truth is that these villains are usually not strong people, but they focus all their efforts upon undermining other people. A silly example, but a very good example, is the character of Dick Dastardly in the cartoon series Wacky Racers. Every single thing he does is focused upon undermining his opponents. He could probably win the race if he tried hard enough. He's a smart guy. But instead, he focuses his efforts on undermining all the other racers, and he never wins. This is the situation we've got around us. There is a particular group of people who are bent wholeheartedly on undermining everyone else around them. This is the truth. Yeah, sucks, but it is the truth. I now have decided to keep my videos lower than 10 minutes in length because apparently that encourages more people to watch them. Fine, I'll do that now. But I'll have to make more videos on this topic. But I've got to make them shorter nowadays. But the topic is true and worth pursuing.